afternoon, or evening, whenever you're tuning in to this yoga. My name is Stephanie. Welcome. I'm super grateful to be here with you, and we're going to move for about an hour. It's going to have a playful practice today, so a little bit of back bending, a little bit of side bending, opening up some areas that we don't usually open up, and I want you to take care of yourself. And if there's any moves that just don't work for you, then you can skip them and just find a child's pose or a downward facing dog. Or if you want to take Shavasana early, remember to always listen to your body, to always tune into the sensations that you're feeling. You never want to feel any kind of pain. There may be discomfort when you're opening up muscles, and just paying attention to that and just noticing like when you step past that and when you explore it a little bit. So when we're playing around a little bit on our mat, you want to think of the idea of play requiring some boundaries. So when you do play, we need to have a little bit of rules, a little bit of containment so that we don't spill over. So the containment's going to come from the muscles hugging in toward the body to contain, and then you can play from there. So when we go into our more opening moves, you never want to just push and open before you contain. So thinking about the core, thinking about the muscles you're engaging, and then once you've got that containment, then you're allowed to express and find the full expression of the pose. So with that being said, just rub your palms together, create a little bit of heat. If you want to sit up on your pillow, or if you need some blocks, strap, you're probably going to need a towel of some kind to cushion your knees. So grab that. You can pause the video if you need to. And then just find some stillness with the hands, the center of your heart. Feeling that heat and the energy you just built up. Closing your eyes, letting the shoulders drop, letting the jaw relax. And lift your heart up into your hands. Set an intention for your practice today. Just to open up, to find the edges and to soften around them so that we can play and have fun, be open, find some space, find some expression. And of course, just being in our body and feeling it fully. So I hope you have a good practice. Take a couple more breaths in through the nose. Softly pierce the back of your throat and let it out. So the exhale is a little longer than the inhales. One more big breath in. Exhale, soften. Good. You're just going to reach your arms out to the side. And take a gentle side bend. So bringing fingertips down, reaching over to the left, pushing that right sit bone down to the floor. Noticing where your head is in space, slight tuck of the chin. If it's okay for you to open up the throat a little bit up to the sky. Think of a long spine here. The left bottom ribs pushing open through the right rib cage. Good, take one more breath in. On your exhale, we're going to switch over to the right. Bring the hand down. Reach that left arm up. Breathing through the left rib cage. And then over. Finding some space. Breathing into the ribs right on the sides. Softening that shoulder. Maybe gazing gently up toward the elbow. Notice the bottom shoulder. Roll it back. One more breath here. Come back to center, reach your arms forward, interlace your fingers, flip the palms forward, and make a C-shaped curve with your spine. So let the body round from the mid-back, tuck your tail under, let your head come down a little bit, pull the belly button back toward the spine. Breathe into the back of your body, filling up the breath there. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, go a little deeper. Inhale, rise up. Bring your hands behind you if you have a bolster or blocks or the floor. Fingertips there, lift up from the chest. Roll the shoulders back. So you're doing a slight gentle back bend from the low back. It's lifting up from the belly button. Shoulders are rolling back. Think of lifting from the heart instead of the head or the neck. So just growing taller and more proud here. Finding the containment in the belly and then lifting up, finding that stretch. Take one more big breath in here. And then exhale. Let it go. Okay, so grab your towel. You're going to need a towel for underneath your knees. If you have sensitive knees, if you don't, then not a problem at all. Let's just come into a child's pose just to know where we can go and find safety if we need. Bring those knees out a little bit wider than hip distance, big toe mounds together. Reach your arms forward. Spread the fingers and pull your hips all the way back and down. Wherever they go is perfect. Push into the palms, let your armpits lift up and draw your shoulder blades down your back. You can let your head drop down. Maybe making gentle side to side moves just to see where your hips are at, where your back feels like right now. And just finding a little more settling in the hips. We're going to do a few flows in this child's pose. So plant your palms down. On your inhale breath, lift up onto the hands. Let your hips come gently forward. Rise the heart up. Just a very gentle up dog, a little up movement in the chest. And then pull your hips back. So it's not really an up dog. It's a very gentle child's pose back bend. So tucking the tail a little bit. Rolling the shoulders back, lifting up from the heart, really gently. Don't worry about how far you go. Just notice where you're tight. Feel the inner thighs kind of waking up. Two more. Roll yourself forward, just like a cat-cow, but then add that little lift up in the heart. Exhale, tail back one more time. Inhale, roll it up. Nice. Bring those heels together, squeeze them, hold, roll the shoulders back. And then one last time, hips back to heels. Then you're going to come up into a tabletop position. I want you to get a little stretch on the side of your body here. So spread the fingers right underneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes under if that feels okay. And start to lengthen the left side of your body. So reach the left shoulder forward, the left hip back. You want to be in a nice neutral tabletop here. So keep the belly kind of lifted up. And then come back through center. And then reach the right shoulder forward, right hip back. So I want you to lengthen from your hip to the armpit. Your back stays fairly flat. So this is a very gentle side bend. Good. Inhale, other side. Exhale, push the ribs through. Now you're going to barrel roll your belly button down to the floor and then roll it up toward the sky. So you're pressing into your hands to lift the rib cage, pushing up through the rib cage, making a big circle, just feeling where the rib cage is in space, just playing around with it a little bit, containing the movement with your palms, with your belly, and then take one more, and you'll switch the other way. So the tail is kind of rolling around, you're drawing circles on the wall behind you, you're letting your head drop as you do this. Good, take a couple more. Just getting those nooks and crannies. Breathing into that space, even closing your eyes just to see where you're at. Take one more circle. And then come into a nice neutral spine. You're going to reach your right leg back behind you. Spread the fingers, get really tall in the arms. Lean to that right side just a little bit. Float your belly button up away from the floor. Let's lift the left hand up just to see where we are center-wise. You're gonna pull that right leg through center, the left arm through center. Just feel like you're hugging the midline. Good, growing nice and tall here. On your next exhale breath, round your spine. Take a very gentle bird dog here, just rounding up. And inhaling, reaching forward. Exhale, pull the belly up, really push that right palm. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, round, 2 more. Inhale, reach. Long, 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 long. Exhale, round. Good, this one, hold it here. And reach your left hand behind you. Bend your right knee. Just see if you can reach for the toes, the ankle. I just want you to hold it here. Lift the low belly up. Find some containment by pushing your foot into your hand into your foot. And that left shoulder, I want you to lift it up onto your back. And just find that little press through the hand and the foot. Okay, so very gentle bend. Don't even think about the back bending too much. Just reach the heart forward. Push your foot into your hand. Good, finding a gentle quad stretch here. One more breath in. And one more breath out. Nice, let that leg go. Send the right foot out to the side. Okay, so you're gonna be to the side. The right leg's gonna be out. Hello. Okay, so the right leg is out to the side here. You're gonna bring your left hand down to the floor. Let's lift that right arm right up to the sky. Okay, so you're here. Plant that right foot all the way down into the floor. Open up your chest a little bit. And then slowly take this hand underneath you. That right hand's gonna reach underneath you. You're gonna feel your right inner thigh opening up a little bit. So take that right hand underneath you, left fingertips to the floor. Think of grounding the outer part of your right foot, just stretching it up. That's it. Roll that left shoulder back. Your head is just lightly on the floor. Reach that right fingertip further a little bit. Hold here for another breath. Press through the left fingertips. Lift that right arm back up to the sky. Good. One more big breath here. Take a lot of space. And then you're going to come up to kneeling on that left knee. So that right foot is grounded. You're going to turn the toes out so they face the short edge of your mat. Right hand comes down along the shin. Very gently lift that left arm up to the sky. Take a big breath in. Reach over. Don't push on that right knee. Keep a slight micro bend. And this is gate pose. So you're getting that really nice side bend on the left side. Good. All right, you can gaze to the sky. Drop that left shoulder down your back. If it doesn't feel good to turn the toes out, you can turn them back in. I want you to feel like you're pulling your foot in toward the thigh bone into its socket. So you're just gently dragging it in so you can find that containment. Reach one more breath in. Awesome. Come back to center. Bring your hands down to the mat and just slide that right leg straight back behind you. And then come into a pigeon pose. So we're going to open up that left hip. All right, so if this is not comfortable for you, you can also let that left hip drop down to the floor or put a block underneath you. I want you to flex the left foot. If you are on your hips and you've got that flexibility, flex your ankle and heel toe your right leg back behind you. So you're reaching, reaching, reaching. You can even take this blanket underneath the hip if you need to. Wherever you need to be here. Just getting right into the hips a little bit. Lift your chest. That right big toe mound grounds into the floor, or you're on the top of your foot, whatever's comfortable. And let's just take our elbows down if you've got that flexibility. If not, stay where you are. Let's just hold it here for a few breaths. For those that are having any knee issues, you can be on the outer left hip. Both knees can come to 90 degrees, and you can just kind of lean forward and find your edge point, but you don't want to feel anything uncomfortable in your knee. Good. Take 1 or 2 more full rounds of breaths here. Feeling like you're pulling that left knee back, right hip gently forward, finding the containment, a slight scissoring action so you can get a nice opening in the back of the hip. Good, we're gonna come up. If you need a strap, you can grab a strap. Otherwise, you're just gonna grab the back foot. Find that same container, roll that right shoulder back. Push the foot into the hand into the foot, just gently lift your chest. Just a gentle lift, nothing too crazy. Pulling the navel into the spine. If you're a little more flexible, you could pull it in. Just a gentle quad stretch here. 1 more breath in. Nice, take another breath, and then gently release the foot if you had it. Let's come back into our tabletop. Find a child's pose with the knees on them. Towel if you need to. See where your hips are at now. We're going to do the other side. Bird dog. Take another couple breaths. Good. So reach the arms straight, plant the palms, roll yourself up into your tabletop. This time you're going to reach your right arm forward and your left leg back. So right arm forward, left leg back. Reach the big toe out of that left foot. Pull the belly up. That left hand is nice and tall. Reach it super far. Exhale, lift the belly button, round the spine, crunch it in. So think of the tail reaching forward, the crown reaching forward. You're getting very long from fingertips to toes. And then exhale, lifting the rib cage up as you round. Inhale, reach it nice and long. Exhale, bring it in a couple more times. Inhale, reach. Last one. Reach it all the way out to the side. You're going to sweep your left toes out to the side. All right, so your left toes are reaching out. Take a big breath in. That right hand is down, the left hand is up. Take a really big breath. Ground that left foot so you can feel the inner thigh activate. The outer part of your foot is grounding. Open up across the collarbones. Take as much space up as you can here. 1 more breath in. And then we're going to weave this top arm underneath us. So you're light on that right fingertips. The left hand comes underneath you. If you need to be on your elbow or the shoulder comes down, wherever you need to be. So if this is enough for you, stay here. You can also grab a block and bring the floor closer to you. That's what this would look like. So you just want to feel that left inner thigh waking up. Just be careful with the knee. You want to keep the knee engaged, the inner part of the muscle of the knee. Keeping that squeezing a little bit. Good, couple of breaths here, just waking up the inner thigh on that left side. Grounding the outer edge of the left foot. Final breath here. We're going to reach that left arm back up to the sky. Big breath in. Gently coming up onto that right knee. You're going to turn the left toes out a bit if that feels okay for you. Otherwise, you keep them turned in. We're going to go into gate pose. So inhale, reach that right arm up. Left hand slides gently down the leg. Imagine you're between 2 panes of glass. You're grounding the foot. You feel the heel grounding into the floor. So we're not pushing into the knee. We just feel the foot is the most grounded part. You're lifting that right rib cage up. The shoulder drops down. Maybe you gaze to the sky. Take another breath or 2 here. Soften with each exhale. Come back to center. Inhale. We're going to take our pigeon. So you're going to take that left leg behind you. You're going to shift your right calf out to the side, to the left a little bit, so your shin is on a slight angle. You're going to walk your knees back. You can stay on the blanket if you would like, or you can take the blanket or block underneath that right hip. Again, if you have any knee issues, just bring both knees to 90 degrees. You're on that right hip. You're lifting tall through the chest. And then maybe you're folding forward. So if you're in your full pigeon, you're flexing that right ankle. You're heel toeing the left toes back in space. Breathe through this one. So just notice if you're tighter on one side or the other. It's just good to note there's a little more tension on one side. Maybe we compensate on that side when we're standing in our everyday practice, or just anytime. We usually have one side that's more dominant than the other. Good. Take a couple more slow rounds of breath here. Feel like you're finding that containment. That right knee kind of draws back, left knee draws forward a little bit. You're softening your jaw and your face. Just opening these hips up right off the bat today. Good. We're going to take that quad stretch. So let's bend the back knee. If you need a strap, grab the strap. Grab the outside or the inside of the foot, wherever you feel like you can get a good hold of the foot. Roll the left shoulder back, lift from the heart, and gently pull the heel in at the same time as pushing your foot back. So that's the containment, right? That's that hold, the protection, the security. That's the rule that you start with. You tuck your tail a little bit and then you push away. You lift up the heart. You find a play from the containment. So lift. Amazing. Take one more big breath in here. You're going to gently release the foot. You can move your towel aside unless you would love to keep it. Let's come into a downward facing dog. Place the palms down. Feet hip distance apart. Lift those heels up nice and high. You can walk out the heels. Good. Your hands are just a bit wider than the shoulders. The index fingers are pointing straight forward, parallel to one another, and you're gripping your fingers into the mat. So you feel the palms, you feel the knuckles, you feel the finger pads, and then you let your shoulders draw down your back, so toward your hips. So it's actually upward in space, so away from your shoulders. The knees can stay bent, so the goal is not to put the heels on the floor. The goal is to find the length in the spine. So I want you to pull your belly back a little further. Let those hips sink into their sockets. And then, if you've got that extra little bit of mobility, then you start to reach from the big toe mounds back. Let the rib cage come up and in. Just find a single downward dog here, just to feel where you are in space. Feel like you're hugging your arms toward one another, but they're not actually moving. They're just turning on. We're activating the shoulders. And the eye of the elbows turn forward just slightly to open up the collarbones. Take one more big breath in here. On your exhale, you're going to hop, step, or walk yourself forward into a nice forward fold. Feet are hip distance apart. Lift and spread the toes. If you need a set of blocks, you can grab them on any height. Push into the floor blocks or your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull the belly up, reach the heart forward. Exhale, lower down. So that 2 more times. Inhale, lift the belly, reach the heart and spine forward. Knees can stay soft a bit. Exhale, lower. Inhale, half lift up. Exhale, we're going to swan. We're going to come all the way up to the sky. Take a big breath in, press through the floor. Inhale, reach yourselves up to the sky. Grab your left wrist. Reach up nice and tall. And then let your body just open up to the left. So just feeling that opening on the side. You're still at the top of your mat. I'm just showing you the side that I want you to open up. Good. A little more opening here on the side that we did earlier. Come back through center. Grab the right wrist, get nice and tall. Drop the shoulders, push your hips to the right. Nice. So just getting into those nooks and crannies that we tend to just keep, dark and contracted. Just breathe into it. One more breath in. Release the arms, bring them into a prayer position. Inhale, reach the arms up. Swan dive forward on your exhale. We're going to take a namaskar, Surya Namaskar, a sun salutation. Inhale, lift halfway, rise up. Exhale, plant your palms, step, walk or hop your feet back into a plank. Knees can come down if you need to. Tuck the tail, and then lower yourself down into a chaturanga. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale. Lift your chest up just a bit for a gentle cobra. Roll the shoulders back and pull your hands back towards you. Containment. Find the belly. Lower down. Let's do this 2 more times here. Inhale. Roll your chest forward. If you need to, you can bring your fingertips a little wider on the mat to get more space. And drop down. One more. Big breath in. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale. Pull the belly back. Press to the tops of your feet. And then roll down. Place your palms by your chest. Tuck your toes under. On your exhale, lift your hips up. You can do that from your knees or your toes. Pull yourself back into a downward dog and just stay here for a few breaths. Good. Pressing through the big toe mounds and the index knuckles. Rolling the shoulders down your back. Let the head drop a little bit. Find some spaciousness. Take one more breath. On your next exhale, bend those knees, hop, walk, or step forward. Inhale, half lift, spine reaches long. Exhale, drop down. Inhale, press to rise all the way up. Let's go right into that second round. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise halfway up. Belly lifts. Exhale, step, walk, or hop back into plank. Bend the elbows into chaturanga. Keep the shoulders away from the floor. So keeping the chest open as you come down. Tops of the feet press. Inhale, rise up. Little cobra, maybe a little higher this time. Tuck the tail under. Lower down, exhale. Press up into your plank and then downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. So you can pedal out those feet, just getting into your body. If there's any movements that feel amazing or you want to take this a bit slower or faster, feel free to do 1 more round here. Look forward on your exhale. Hop, walk, or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, half rise up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press to rise all the way to the sky. 1 more round. Exhale, drop down. Inhale, half lift, belly rises, heart reaches. Exhale, ground the palms, step, walk, or hop back into your plank. Knees can drop. Squeeze the glutes, slowly lower down to the chest. Up dog or cobra, press to the tops of the feet. Up dog, you might lift the hips up, roll the shoulders back. Good, you can curl the toes under or come into chaturanga and press yourself back into a downward facing dog. Nice. I want you to lift your heels up, roll yourself forward into a plank. Do a little bit of strength work here. Tuck your tail under, open up across the collarbones. We're going to do 3 slow chaturangas. So if you need to put the knees down, that's okay. Keep that plank position. Good. Inhale, breath. Slowly lower down. Maybe halfway, and then exhale. Find the core. 2 more. Inhale down. Shoulders back. Exhale, squeeze from those inner thighs. 1 more in. Elbows stay tight. Chest stays open. Good. This time, come all the way down. Slow as you can. Tuck the toes under. Gentle cobra. Gentle up dog. Good. Slowly come down. I want you to stay here. Reach your right arm forward. Your left hand back. grab onto the opposite foot. So now I'm grabbing onto my left foot with my right hand. Okay, you're gonna roll that right shoulder back, press into the top of that left hand, and just lift your chest off the floor. You're gonna kick back to that left foot, gently getting deeper into our back bend. So tucking the tail, roll the right shoulder back, reach the heart forward, hug your inner thighs together. So we're getting that quad stretch, but now from opposite corners. It's gonna feel a little different. If you feel any tension in that left side, tuck the tail under just a bit more. Take one more breath here. And then slowly release it down. You can wiggle your hips side to side if you need to. Now you're gonna reach your right arm forward. Left hand back, bend the right knee, grab onto the foot. Hug the inner thighs together. Roll that left shoulder away from the floor. Tuck your tail, find the containment, hug those inner thighs. There's your safety. Tail is tucked a bit. Start to push your foot into your hand into your foot. You start to lift up. So your lift is coming from the heart. You're not cranking your head back. The length in your neck is quite important here. Good, 2 more breaths in. Nice, 1 more. Slowly release the foot. You're gonna take your hands behind your back. We're gonna take a Shalabhasana pose. So we're just gonna lift it up. It's a locust pose. Interlace your fingers or grab a strap if you need to. Lift your shoulder heads up away from the floor. Tuck your chin a little bit and pull your belly button away from the floor. So you're finding that engagement. Our glutes are engaged, but they're not clenching. So just a slight engagement. Hug the legs together and start to reach your arms back. Press the knuckles behind you. Keep the chin tucked. Lift your chest off your floor. Good. Hold for a couple more breaths. Feel the outer edges of your thighs rolling down toward the floor. The inner edges of your inner thighs rolling up. So that's the inner spiral of the legs. Slowly lower down. Place your palms onto the floor. Tuck your toes under. On your next exhale, press up into your plank. And then find a nice gentle downward dog. Let's stretch this out. Pedal out the feet. Let's do one little vinyasa flow. So coming forward into plank, inhale. Let's flush this out, bend the elbows. Knees can come down if you need to. Roll the shoulders back, gentle back bend. Exhale, curl the toes under or come down before you press back. All right, nice. Let's take the left hand and reach it across to the right foot. Looking under that right armpit, gentle twist to the right. Nice. Lift that right armpit up away from the floor. And then bring it down. Let's do the other side just to balance it off. Press the left hand, reach that right hand across. Lift the left armpit. Pull your hand into your foot and your foot into your hand. 1 more breath here. Good, replace the hand. Let's lift the right leg up to the sky. Bring it in toward the chest. Exhale forward. Inhale back. 2 more. Exhale, come forward. Bring that knee right up and toward the chin. Inhale, send it back. This time, hold it here. We're going to step this right foot forward. You can walk it a few times if you need to, or just step it right between the hands. Ground the left foot. And let's come up into a warrior two. So press that right leg. Opening up the hips a little bit. Heel presses, left foot grounds. So your heel to arch alignment, that front right foot, arch of your left foot, ground here. So notice I'm not rolling my ankle, I'm pressing the inner edge of that left foot. And I'm rolling my right hip down and back. I'm curling it under. The front of your left hip, I want you to pull it back a bit, make some space, and tuck the right tail under. Okay, hold this warrior two, look past your fingers. Good. Reaching those fingertips really long, reaching up through the crown of your head. Soften your gaze. Good. Take another breath. And let's take this right forearm down to the left thigh. Sweep the left arm up overhead. Roll both shoulders back. If you like, the right bottom rib cage is rolling up toward the left one. If you're a little bit more flexible, more practiced with this side angle pose, you can take your hand down to the floor or to a block. But keep that back leg really engaged here. Awesome. Press through that left foot. Find the containment. So hug your legs toward one another. That's it. Open up the chest a little bit more. Wherever you are, take a breath in. Fantastic. Roll the shoulders back. Take one final big breath in. Press and express this pose. And let's come down back into a downward dog. So let those legs go back. Reach your hips back. Flow this out or stay in downward dog if you want to. Bend the elbows. Exhale. Inhale. Roll yourself up. Exhale. Tuck the toes under. Lift up from the hips. Lift the glutes. Good. Let's lift the left leg up to the sky. Reach it back. Spread the toes. Spread the fingers. On your next exhale, come forward. Bring the knee to chest. Exhale. Find the core. Lift it up. Inhale. Sweep it back. Exhale. Forward. Pull it in toward the chin. Good. One more. Exhale. You're going to step this through. Just hold it for a second. Step that left foot through. Drop the back heel down. So you're in this warrior two. That right heel is down. The outer edge of that right foot is parallel to the short end of your mat. And your left foot is facing the short end of your mat. But I want your knee tracking with the second toe. So don't let that knee collapse and really push it open. Find the containment. Pull the thighs toward each other. Tuck the tail under on that left side. Sink a little deeper. So your knees should be relatively stacked over the ankle. If it's going way past your foot, walk your stance a little further. And if your knee is not over the ankle, walk your stance a little closer. So you have that straight right leg and your left knee is at 90 degrees. Good. Look past the fingertips. Roll the shoulders back. Find your steady gaze, your steady breath. Drop the shoulders, grow nice and tall. Good. Anchoring through. Take one more breath in, then we're going to take that side angle pose. So the left forearm comes down to your left thigh, right arm reaches overhead. Roll that shoulder back in space. Feel that right inner thigh pull into the left heel. Okay, so we're going to take that nice side angle pose. So breathing through that right side all the way through the back of your hip here. Good, just feeling that opening every breath and that release a little deeper. Take two more breaths here. Wrap that left thigh underneath you to get that slight rotation, open a bit. Nice, one more breath here. Then bring your hands down to the mat. Step back into plank. Find a child's pose, a downward dog, or come into a vinyasa here. Lower down, inhale, rise up. Exhale, tuck the toes. Meet in downward dog. Take a few breaths. All right, beautiful work. Let's lift the right leg up to the sky. This time you're going to bend that right knee, open the hips a little bit. Keep the shoulders square, so don't let that left shoulder drop down. Lift that left armpit up, pull the belly in, and maybe ground the heel a little bit, if you can get there. Just opening the hips. And then straighten that right leg, bring it through, step it between your hands. You're gonna find a triangle pose. So let that left heel come down onto the floor. Hand on the shin or on a block, whatever you need. You're gonna straighten that front leg out. So that right leg straightens, but not locks. I want the knee a tiny bend and anchor through the big toe mound of the right foot. So the big toe mound anchors. The left leg straightens a little bit. Feel the inner thighs pulling in toward each other. Yeah, and then wrap that right sit bone underneath you and press up. So if you have a block, you have a floor, you find containment, and then you push and you find expression through every cell of your body. You make it as big as you can, but with that containment. So you're just playing here. Your hand can also be on the shin, not on the knee. You're not pushing, just gently holding it there. Good. Anchor through that back leg. The gaze can be down to the floor, to the side, or up to the sky to make this a little bit more balanced focus. You're going to bring that left hand to your hip, gaze down to the floor, bend the right knee, grab that block if you need it, and hop the left foot in a couple times or just float it up for a warrior 3. Sorry, half moon pose, half moon. This is your half moon. So Ardha Chandrasana, with or without the block. If your hand is down, it's maybe 6 inches in front of that right foot to the side. All right, bend that right knee just a little bit. Want your back leg super active here. Good, the hand can stay up. And this is a Ardha Chandra Chapasana, so you could bend the back knee if it's available to you. Grab it, if not, just hold that Ardha Chandrasana. Hug those knees in toward each other. Tuck your tail a little bit and push your foot into your hand and your hand into your foot. Roll the shoulder back. Good, now we're going to challenge our balance in a moment. You're going to keep hanging on to this left foot. Okay, and if you don't have it, that's okay. Then you're just going to come up and keep your left leg floating. So take a breath. Bend that right knee a little bit. Drop that left hip down so it's parallel. And then slowly stand up as you hold on to that left foot. Okay, if you need to hold on to a wall or a chair, just grab a wall or a chair. Good. At this point, we should all be holding that left foot. Tuck the tail under a little bit. Lift up from the heart. Front of that left shoulder rolls back. If you need to grab a strap and put it around your foot, do that. Okay, you're going to start to reach your chest up for dancer's pose. So pushing the foot into the hand, hand into the foot. This might be enough for you. Keep those knees hugging together so we're not letting it splay out to the side. Pull the belly and find that containment. Find that hug in from the muscles and start to kick it away. If you're a little more flexible, start to reach forward. Drop that left hip forward and then make sure the knee is not locking. So we're just here. Wherever you find this back bend is perfect. Good, 2 more breaths. Very nice. Slowly release the leg. Come into a chair pose. So bring your feet down, hug it in, hands to prayer. Feet about hip distance apart. Hold here, belly tight. You're going to reach this right arm all the way forward, lengthen through that right side, and then cross it over the left knee. So push that left knee to the elbow into knee, palms together, roll your shoulders back. Good, opening up the chest a bit more. Keep the spine really long. Take one more breath here. Take this deeper twist. And then let's slowly unwind, forward fold. Come forward, shake off the legs. Good, inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, roll down. Reach to rise. Take one big flow up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, half rise. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms, step, walk or hop, back into your plank. Lower the knees or come right down to the belly, chaturanga. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Slightly deeper back bend here. And exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes under, find your downward dog. Stay there for a couple breaths. All right, this time, lift your left leg up, bend the knee, open the hips up a bit. Gentle stacking of the hips, but not too aggressive. That right armpit kind of lifts away from the floor. Open the hips up. Press back. You can take another breath here. You're going to step this left foot through between your hands. You're going to grab your block if you need it. That right heel grounds down, the left foot steps forward into 90 degrees just for the first little section. Then we're going to find a triangle pose. So hug the inner thighs together, use your block if you need to, and straighten that front left leg. Good. So this is your triangle pose. That right arm can reach up to the sky. Pull those inner thighs together, ground through the left big toe mound, and feel like you're lengthening out through your spine. So your spine is straight. That right hip bone kind of reaches back, and you're tucking the left sit bone underneath you. Take a couple more breaths. Good. We're going into an Ardha Chandrasana. Let's take one more big breath in. One more big breath out. Gaze to the floor, take the right hand to your hip. Bend the knee. You can take that block with you if you have it, or tap the right toes in a couple times. Ground through that left foot, spread the toes. Hand can be on the block or the floor. Let's reach that right leg straight back behind us. The left knee has a slight micro bend in it. Arm can come up if you want to. Lengthen out the spine. You can very much stay here. This is enough balance for you. If you want to grab the back foot with that right hand, grab the back foot for Ardha Chandra Chapasana. Hold it here. Hug those inner thighs together. Now push the foot back into the hand, hand back into the foot. Very gently here. Remember, this is a back bend, so gently tuck the tail under, protecting and finding the containment, and then finding that space and expression to open up. Good. So if your leg is straight, no worries. We're going to slowly stand ourselves up. If you still got a hold of that right foot, hang on to it. Find your balance and control. Come up to standing. If you need a strap or something to hold on to something. Hug those inner thighs together so the knees line up side by side. Roll the right shoulder back. Really tuck your tail under so you feel the protection and containment on that right low back. From here, hold onto that right foot. Reach your heart tall. Let's find that dancer's pose. Very gently push the right leg back. Lift up from the heart. Don't let the knee go out to the side. Keep it hugging in. Find a spot on the floor that's not moving. Give a few breaths here. Whew. Nice. Open up the chest. Open up the heart. One more breath. Try to soften into the pose and express. Good. Slowly coming up. Releasing the foot. Coming into that chair pose. So push your hips back. Widen the sit bones. Lift the low belly up. Hands can be in prayer here. Sink into the heels a little more. You're going to reach your left arm forward. And then exhale, cross to that right knee. Hug them together. This should feel a really nice stretch on your back. Palms press into one another. Roll the shoulders back. Think of pulling that right knee into elbow, elbow to knee, and then rotating around the spine for that gentle twist. It's a little more deep than all of our twists, but that's okay. Just enjoy it, sit back. One more breath in. Exhale, let those arms come down to the floor. Walk your feet a little wider apart. Grab onto your elbows and just let your body sway from left to right. Good, take your hands down to the floor. You're gonna come down into a squat. So turn your toes out. Heels are a little bit wider than your hips, maybe the distance of your mat. Heels can stay down. If they're not, then you can keep them up. We're gonna stay here for maybe 3 or 4 breaths. So palms face each other. Press the knees into the hands, hands into the feet. And if you're a little bit more advanced in your practice, you wanna do a Bakasana or crow pose. You can bring your hands down to the floor. Keep squeezing the elbows with your knees. Otherwise, just stay in that squat. Open your chest, lift the heels up, squeeze those knees into the elbows and float one or both feet up off the floor. Gazing slightly forward. Good, take one more big breath in. Slowly come down. Bring your hands behind you. And then shake the legs out in front of you. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit more playing on the mat here. You're gonna bring your heels out to the side, hands behind you. Just want you to open the hips a little bit more. Good. Let's just windshield wipe them side to side so you can feel the hips opening a little bit. The inner thighs opening. Flex the feet. Nice. One more on each side. And then you're going to come up to sitting. You're going to bring your feet together into a Baddha Konasana or cobbler's pose, feet together. If you need to sit up on a bolster, a block, or a blanket, you can do that. Grab onto your feet, lift your chest up. You're going to grab onto either the big toe mounds of your feet or the outer edge of your feet, wherever you feel the most connected to your legs. You're going to lift up on the sit bones. And I'm going to give you 2 options here. First, you're just going to lift that left foot up off the ground. Foot in presses into hand, hand presses into the foot. And you bend the knee to about 90 degrees. So you're almost bringing your foot kind of up toward your ears. You're feeling a nice stretch in the back of your hip. If you're a little bit more flexible, you extend that left leg out while you stay tall. Good, so wherever you are, just enjoy it. Stay up on those sit bones as much as possible. Pull that left shoulder into its socket. So you find the integrity, you find that containment, and then you express it out from there. You find that opening. Okay, take one more breath and we're going to slowly release it. Good. Reset, breath in. So you're holding onto the big toe mound or the outer edge of your foot. Ground through the left foot here. You're going to lift the right foot off the ground. Find the containment, foot in hand, hand and foot. Push them together. Sit up tall on the sit bones. You're going to either lift your heel up to about 90. If this is where you are, bring it a little closer to you so you get a bigger hip opening. If you're a little more flexible, extend that right leg out to the side. Stay tall on those sit bones. Find your breath. You can close your eyes. If you're having trouble balancing, maybe keep them open a little bit. Take one more breath here. Slowly bring it down. Let's take one forward fold, and we're going to go a little bit deeper. So fold forward. Allow your spine to round a little bit. If you want to reach your arms forward, you got that, reach it. Good, slowly roll yourself up. Now a little bit deeper into play, we're going to try with both legs. So if both knees bend out, or if you can get them out to straight, do whatever feels right for you. You can even bring your back up against a wall if you're afraid of falling back. You are going to have to lean back into your sit bones a little bit, but stay as tall as you can. Your low back, try not to round it under as best as possible. Try to keep the lift in your low back as best as possible. Press your feet into your hand, your hands into your feet. And just lift your heels off the floor, maybe a centimeter or two. So keeping this containment. This may be the only place you stay, and that's totally fine. Just honor it. You're gonna lift the heels up a little higher. It's almost like a seated happy baby. So the heels come up, the pelvis is opening, and if you've got the full expression of the pose, you come up and open up those legs, stay up on those sit bones, take a couple breaths here. Nice. Gently bring it in. You're gonna bring your knees together, balance on your tailbone for a boat pose. So we're gonna roll onto the back of the pelvis a little bit, bring the knees to a tabletop, or if you're a little stronger, send them straight, and feel like you're resting on the back of your pelvis. Just hold this pose. If you need to put your back down on the floor, bring the knees up a little bit higher. So wherever you need to be here, just hold that core strength, pull the belly button in. Good, we're gonna roll down. Take one more big breath in. And then exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. Good, bring your feet to the floor. We're gonna do a couple of bridges. So reach towards your heels, just so you can gently graze the feet. They're about hip distance apart. Press your shoulder blades down onto the floor, and then tuck your tailbone under. So you're feeling a slight curve under your tail. Pelvis is rotating backward as you lift the hips. So this is going to protect the low back. Your glutes are turned on, but they're not clenching. They're just gently firm. Reach your knees long, 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 long. We have lots of back opening, a lot of spine opening here. This might be all that you'd like to try today. You can bring your hands underneath your body and just walk your shoulders a bit closer. If you know how to do wheel and you want to take your hands by the sides of your ears, you can come to the top of your head and then push up as you press into your feet. Only do this if you know what you're doing and you're comfortable with it. Your back feels okay. And when you come down, put the top of your head down and then tuck your chin under. And then everyone take a moment, roll down onto your back. Let's let those knees drop to the left. And then drop to the right. Good, let's lift the heels up to the sky. You might want to grab your strap or your towel. We're going to take a hamstring stretch lying down on our back. So you're going to feel your low back grounding. This helps a lot with protection of the spine. It's also really nice just to be on our back here. So if you have the edges of your feet, if you're really flexible, you can grab those. Flex your toes back toward your face. Feel like you're grounding your sit bones and your tailbone into the floor. And then gently pull down where your big toe mounds and the strap meet. Gently pull down there. If you're a bit more flexible, you can grab onto the ankles or the toes, wherever you've got it. Just allowing the low back to release a little bit. Feel the grounding of the sit bones. The back of your pelvis just roots. Good, you can release the strap a little bit. Hands come below your hips. You're just going to lift your bum off the floor just gently. This might be enough of a stretch for you. Chin is off your chest. If you know plow pose, you can come up overhead, grab your low back. Chin really off your chest. If not, just stay with your back on the floor and hug your knees a little bit closer toward your chest. Just giving yourself a nice bigger hug. If you're a little bit more advanced in your practice, bring your feet back behind you. Lift your chin off your chest. Just allowing the back to release a bit more. Press the head back gently into the floor. And then you're going to roll yourself down as slowly as you can. Releasing the feet down, straightening out the legs. If you'd like to cover yourself with a blanket, if you'd like to turn the lights down or put on a eye pillow, feel free to grab an eye pillow. We're going to be here for a few minutes for Shavasana. So just finding your final resting pose. Let your feet maybe just get comfortable here, rocking them in and out a couple times, removing the flesh from underneath you, turning the palms up. Just allow yourself to sink into the floor. Feel like all that effort, all that play deserves a little bit of rest. Feel like you're smiling from the inside out, and just let your body be one big smiling puddle in the floor. Letting go of any tension you're holding on to, maybe in your eyes, your neck, your shoulders, your jaw, your ears, the forehead. The hair follicles, the skin, the fascia, the muscles. Just let go a little bit more and just be right here. If you have time and would like to stay longer in Shavasana, just stay here and tune out my voice. You're ready to start to move your fingers and toes a little bit. Find some gentle movements. Maybe rocking your head side to side. Bringing yourself back into your body. Reaching your arms up over your head. Take a long pencil stretch. Arching the back a little bit. And letting it go. Plant the soles of your feet on the floor. Roll off to your favorite side. Rest here in this sideline pose here for a breath or two. Resting your head on the forearm. When you're ready to press yourself up with that top hand, let your head come up last. Keeping those eyes closed just to maintain that stillness. Find a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands back to the center of your chest where we started class. Lift that proud chest into the thumbs. Just honor the practice. Coming to your mat. Discovering the power and the potential of your practice and the play that you bring on your mat. Invite it into the rest of your life. Bring it off the mat. Smile from the inside. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. We'll see you next week. Have a great rest of your day.